top, and then the 80-20 is going to be towards the back, so that way it will hang completely straight. Now,
whenever I'm doing a filler or any type of an edge to edge, I always like to use my screws. I do have a tutorial on that.
The ruler itself, and I want to make sure to walk my hand with the ruler so that way I'm not holding my hand back here and the ruler is bobbing up and down and has the opportunity to go up over the ruler. Okay, so now we're going to go into our bird block, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to ditch it. Now, the last thing I'm going to do in the block is I'm going to go ahead and go around the different bird sections and ditch all of those separate. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ditch the flower and the leaf and the stem. And to do that, I'm going to use one of the round rulers. I'm also on the petals here going to use a little bit of a curved ruler because I want to thicken the line a little bit. And if I run into any trouble, I'll use my mini so that I can go right around my foot, and that will keep me perfectly steady. And I have my ditcher just in case. So again, the machine is full of rulers as usual. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start here. I'm going to lock my stitches. Okay, and I'll trim that tail in just a second once we get going. Get my glasses on. And now I'm going to start with the petal. And I'm simply going to go up, and again, I'm not using an invisible thread with this. I'm actually using metallic thread, so I'm just going to thicken that line a little bit. Come down. And now we'll go this way. Now I can get rid of that tail. That's a good curve for that. There's that. And I'm using the mini curve 2, which also works with those really cool dimensional rulers. Okay, back, forth, back, and I'm simply going around the petals and ditching. 1, 2, 3. P.S. I'm really not aiming for perfection because it's more of an accent. She has these appliqué down, sewn down, so they're safe and secure, so we don't have to depend on these stitches to keep it down like we would if somebody had done raw edge applique, which I frankly won't typically quilt any longer. I usually make sure that the client stabilizes it and sews it down with thread, because otherwise that just takes way too long to go around and thicken the line inside each applique. If you've ever done that, you know how that does eat up the time. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. I'm going to ditch around again. I'm going to come to the stem, And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ditch that stem. I'll just use my ditch ruler. And even though it's not a straight line, I'm simply pivoting my ditch ruler to follow that curve. I could grab a curved ruler, but the straight ruler works just fine. And again, I'm not aiming for perfection, I'm simply outlining what's already there. Go right into her embroidery, add a little accent there. Okay, so now I'm at the leaf, so I'm going to grab my mini. If you have any sort of a ruler that'll go around your foot to keep your hand steady, that's a good way to go. Now I'm going to go ahead, finish that little stem, come back, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do the outside of that leaf. And now I'll do the inside of the leaf, get a little bit of the gold in there, add a little shimmer. Do the little tip. Now I'll come out, and now I can go ahead and do the outside of the leaf. And I'll switch to using the actual notch in the mini to keep me steady. Again, I'm just thickening that line a little bit just to make it pop. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to go ahead and lock those stitches. And now I'm going to go ahead, pull away for a second, and I'm going to grab my round ruler. And this is one of the puzzle pieces. I'm simply going to open it. And actually, because this is not the exact same size circle, it's an off-size circle, I'm going to go, I'm going to lock my stitches. After I pull up my bobbin. Sorry about that, folks. Lock my stitches. Okay, so now they're locked. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use the circle, and what I'm going to do is, because it's an off size, I'm simply going to just pivot this circle a little bit and make it work. Now, I could freehand it. I could use my mini. But I really do want to be a little more exacting with that center part of the sunflower. I thought about going in there and filling it with some micro metallic, but then I changed my mind. Pivot that around. And again, this is just another way to use the wonderful tools that we all have, no matter whose little mini circles you have. Okay, so now that's nice there. So now I'm going to go ahead, lock my stitches. Okay, come away, and now I'm going to go ahead and ditch the bird. There we go. Get my ditcher, get my other stuff out of the way. Okay, and again, I am at 12 stitches per inch. That's 11 or 12 stitches is where I like to ditch. And I'm just thickening that line as I'm ditching. And actually, I think what I'll do is I'll just go over that way, and I can come back. Stop there. Because I'm thickening, the path can be anything you need it to be. Up. Now let's get that beak. Now we're going to come back. And again, that metallic thread is going to take this very traditional wall hanging and it's going to add a little bit of shine to it, which I love. Going to make it a little bit more contemporary. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, trim my tail, go into the wing, go up, down, up, down, because I need to get back to my path, come up, and so I don't have to hit that again, I might as well pick that up on my way around. And you can see how wonderful this metallic runs through the machine. Now this is a fresh spool of the Superior Metallic. I had an older one that I was having a little bit of issues with. But when I say older, I mean I think it was over 10 years old that I happened to find in my thread stash. So I just had Rich order us some new, and this is running like a dream no matter which direction I'm going. It's running just like our regular 40 weight. And in the bobbin, of course, with this, I am running the 40 weight. I'm running isocord. Once in a while, I will run, of course, the glide. And I do wind my own bobbins. I do not use the pre-wounds. A lot of people use the pre-wounds and they love them. I'm so used to winding my own bobbins, and it gives me that time in the morning. If I did use pre-wounds, I would use the Magna Glides. I tend to like the way that they work better than anything else that I've tried at shows and classrooms. Okay, so now we have that bird all outlined in the metallic. And so now I'm going to figure out what am I going to do with the texture inside. And I think what I am going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to go in 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch inside the wing because we need a little highlight in that wing. I've gone in to the wing and I went ahead 1/4 inch around, and then I wanted to put a little bit of angling on there just to signify kind of block feathers on the wing, not quilted feathers, but just feathered texture-ish. Um, a little more modern look, a little more blocky and square. So I went 1/2 inch on the diagonal and I followed this angle because I wanted to match it to something. So we're going to go ahead. 1, 2, 3, stop, line it up. 1, 2, 3, stop, line it up. 1, 2, 3, stop, line it up. 1, 2, 3, stop. And now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to slide up. I'm going to go on that diagonal, down, up, stop, over, take my time. I want to stay right on that line. Line that up, down, up, over, line it up on that line, down, up, stop, down, up, stop, over, line it up, down, up. I'm going to take it all the way to the end, lock my stitches. Okay, get rid of my tail. Some thread, needle up, pull away, come back. And I see my knot is already popped through, so that worked out well. So now we have that beautiful diagonal texture in that wing. And that's going to be done aside from when we go in and fill in the background. Before I go in to do all the background fill, I'm going to complete the whole quilt and then come back and do the fill. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move out to these side blocks and let's figure out what we're going to do in there.